Sometimes there's just not much left to say except that is what I was talking about. Let's get into this game. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming and checking out the channel. I appreciate it as always, and if you like what you see and you want to hear more, check out some of my other videos. I'm putting out 2, 3, 4 videos a week depending on, the week. This week's going to be a shorter week because we've got the Thanksgiving game against Packers. So we'll get into all that in a little bit here, but first I wanted to say that the Miami Dolphins have defeated the New England Patriots 34-15, and if you looked at my preview video, that is almost exactly what I called this game to be. Also, man, it doesn't get much better than that. That was, like I said, that was a dog walking, and that's what needed to happen. I'm going to get into some stats and stuff here, and we're going to talk about everything, but first, just before I get into any stats, 2 players on offense are getting the game ball. Obviously, I think everybody knows the number one person that's getting this game ball is number 1. Tua Tagovailoa had a huge game. I'll go over his stats in a second. He gets a game ball, obviously. The second person that gets a game ball on this offensive team would be Jalen Waddle. And obviously, I am a big Jalen Waddle fan. I have been since his days in college. My daughter loves him to death. She's obsessed with him. He's her favorite player. She loves the Waddle, and I gotta be honest, I do too. And after a game like today, he deserves a game ball for sure. So those 2 players get my game ball for our offensive team. And for the defensive team, my first game ball is going to go to Chop Robinson. 1.5 sacks. Huge game for him. He played great. It was great to see him on the field doing his thing. There's 3 people on defense that get a game ball. Also, Zach Sealer gets a huge game ball, had a sack, had a fumble, did a great job, played amazing, imposing figure on that defensive line. And when you have Zach Sealer and Chop Robinson and Calais Campbell on that line, it is a imposing defense to go up against. So, great job by those 3 players. The other person that gets a game ball on defense is Jordan Poyer. Bet you didn't see that one coming. But if you look at the game film and you watch the way he played today, if you kept an eye on him, especially given some of the missed tackles that he's had and some of the riskier plays that he's taken, today was an amazing game for him. He did great. So game ball for Jordan Poyer as well. No longer thinking that he's still a member of the Buffalo Bills like I was there for a while just because of the way he was playing. So great job, Jordan Poyer. Great job, defense. Great job, offense. Great job, everybody. Even our punter got into play a little bit, so that was good for him. I think he had 5 punts in the game. Good job, buddy. Way to earn your money this week, because you know you haven't been earning it much the last couple. So, let's get into some of these stats. And I do have a couple flowers to hand out here. Number 1, for the Patriots, Drake May is a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's gonna have a very good future if he continues to grow and to play the way he's been playing. In this game, he had a couple mistakes, but he played pretty well. He was pretty serviceable. 22 of 37 for 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He was sacked 4 times for 40 yards. And in my preview episode, if you saw that, one of the keys to victory was making him uncomfortable. And switching things up was another key. Switching up the locations of all of our star players. Moving them around a little bit. Playing games on defensive lines. Stunts, twists, stacks, things like that that just wreak havoc on an offensive line. We did it today. And it showed in the game what happens when we do that. When we do that, amazing things happen. It was a fantastic game by our defense. They played great. But Drake May had a serviceable game. Did the best he could. His rating was 74.4, so not a great quarterback rating, but he played well enough. Just wasn't quite enough to overcome all the mistakes by the Patriots offense and keep up with Miami's offense. It was hard. So, flowers to Drake May. Demario Douglas had 5 catches for 62 yards. He had a pretty good game. Austin Hooper also had 4 catches for 59 yards and a touchdown. So those two guys, I got to give my flowers to them for receiving. They played a good game. They did well. Just not enough to beat the Dolphins. So I wanted to hand out those couple little bits of flowers for them. Now let's look at some of these stats on the Miami Dolphins side. Tua Tagovailoa, 29 of 40, 317 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. A rating of 128.9. Near perfect for Tua Tagovailoa. So, I wanted to say, if you still think that Tua is not a great quarterback, he's a great quarterback. Is he elite? I don't know yet. We'll see how next week goes and in the rest of the season. But so far, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's surgical. And that was one of the keys to victory for this week that I had for the Miami Dolphins to beat the Patriots, is Tua needed to be surgical. Look what happened. Tua was surgical. We put up 34 points. Great game by Tua. Devon Achane, 10 carries, 32 yards. Jalen Wright, 7 carries for 28. And that's pretty much it for rushing. We had 65 yards of rushing total. It wasn't a huge rushing game, but when you're passing like that, and here's the other thing, I also mentioned in that preview video that if the Dolphins if they witnessed the Patriots going into a one-high shell, which is basically one safety covering it all, then they need to start taking shots down the field. Guess what they did? Guess what they did? Guess! They started taking some shots down the field, and it paid off. Because of that, the running game was a little bit stopped a little bit. Still had 65 yards rushing. McDaniel still called plenty of run plays to keep him honest. Also, great game by Mike McDaniel. Great game by the coaching staff, period. Mike McDaniel and Anthony Weaver and everybody on the coaching staff. They had the team ready to go. And they called a great game on plays, offensively and defensively. They did a great job. I have no complaints about Mike McDaniel for the 5th week in a row. Great job, Mike. Receiving. Jonnu Smith, 9 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 5 catches for 48 yards. Devon Achane, 3 catches, 24 yards, 2 touchdowns. Holy cow. Devon Achane had himself a game. So, Jalen Waddle, 8 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown. He averaged 18 yards per catch. Whew, that's why I'm wearing this Jalen Waddle jersey. Jalen Waddle did an amazing job. He played great today. And Tua got him the ball. Jalen Waddle wasn't dropping passes today. No, sir. So, great game by the receiving core. Also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different receivers in this game. Tua spreading it around, being surgical, doing his thing. That's what you love to see. You love to see it. Jalen Wright did have his one fumble that he lost. I can't really say much about that. Just kind of lost the ball, and it does happen. So, like I said, 34-15. I'm trying not to split hairs here, and I'm not going to pick apart these small little things because in a game like this, it was small. Jordan Poyer, 7 solo tackles in this game and 1 pass defended. Jordan Poyer had a great game. Jordan Brooks, 9 tackles, 7 solo, 1 tackle for loss. Great job. Javon Holland had another great game with a tackle for loss, and he was 6 tackles. So everybody had a great game here, and we had sacks today. We had sacks, all kinds of sacks. Jalen Ramsey had a sack. Zach Sealer had a sack. Chop Robinson had 1.5 sacks. Emmanuel Ogbah had half a sack. Good job, guys. Defense played amazing, and you love to see it. And they were mixing stuff up. They were moving players left and right. They were doing twists and stunts and stacks, and it was beautiful. As somebody who loves to watch defense, and I was an offensive player all through my football career, I love to watch defense. And in this game today, it was great watching our defense play the way they were playing. They were in control, and they were putting a hurt on them. Great job defense. And only allowing 2 sacks, the offensive line for the Dolphins was amazing. They did what I said they should do. They ended up punting the first. I said, I don't even care if we punt that first possession of the game. I just want to see our offensive line go out there and punch the other team in the mouth. Establish a feeling of dominance over that middle section of the field. Our offensive line needed to dominate their defensive line, and we did that. Great job by the offensive line once again. Can't complain. Jake Bailey averaged 48 yards per punt, even in punting. Great job, Jake Bailey. Great job. Jason Sanders was 2 for 2 for field goals, longest at 51. This is making my job really easy just to say great job after everything that I read off, because there's not much to complain about in this game. This was a drubbing. There was a couple irresponsible throws by Tua near the end of the second half, or the end of the first half, and you could tell that he knew he was pushing it a little too hard there at the end, trying to get it in the end zone instead of taking a field goal at the end of the game, end of the half. It is what it is. Like I said, they were not intercepted, and like I said, that's what the Tua haters are going to cling to. They're going to cling to that all week. Oh, Tua had a couple passes there that he shouldn't have taken. He's got to be more responsible. Shut up. At some point, you need to record your own voice and listen to what you're saying. The man had over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 70% completion percentage. And you're going to sit there and say, well, there was 2 passes where he didn't do very well. Shut up. Miss me with that whole thing. The man is playing lights out. And if you can't see that, and if you can't, more importantly, if you're too thick-headed to admit that he's playing great, just get out of here. Take the jersey off. Take the hat off. Take yourself off of all the social media sites for the Miami Dolphins and just go lay in a hole for the rest of the season. It's not doing any good. It just makes you, people like that, it makes you look stupid. I'm not a Tua lover. He's not my favorite player in the world, even though I do have that jersey back there, which was given to me by a friend, Jeremy. He's a truck driver from Florida, and he ended up taking a job driving up here to deliver some stuff to North Pole, Alaska. And he met me and brought me a couple hats and a couple shirts and a sweatshirt, and it was a good time. Shout out to Jeremy. Thank you for the jersey back there, buddy. But I'm not a huge Tua fan. But I will be more than willing to give the man his flowers for how he's played since he came back from that injury. Lights out. Great quarterback play. So, I'm not going to say anything else about that, and I'm not going to acknowledge any more Tua hate because it's just ridiculous at this point. It's already all over Twitter and Facebook. You've got people on every page. Well, Tua's got to play better. He's got to be a little more responsible with the ball. Just do me a favor and go find a doorknob in your house. Bend over, put your head right up against that doorknob, and just repeatedly brain yourself against it over and over again until you pass out. Okay? Alright, moving on. This game was a butt whooping. It is what it is. Patriots are going to be okay. This might not be the year for them, but after watching Drake May this entire game, and I've got to watch a little bits and pieces of Drake May play these past few weeks, but after watching him play in this game, I can tell you that he is going to be a good quarterback. He's already a good quarterback, but he's something special. He's good. He has a very, very, very high ability to escape and run. And I mean, in these days of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and all these players that can, Jaden Daniels and all these guys that can do this stuff, Kyler Murray, he's going to be okay. And because he's going to be okay, I think that the Patriots can build around him. So let's be like I said, flowers where they're deserved. Drake May is going to be good. So Patriots, take that, and hopefully your team builds around him proper and gives him a good offensive line, because the offensive line play from the Patriots has been very weak. So many penalties on the Patriots in this game, and so many of them were from, I think 80% of the penalties on the Patriots came from their offensive line. So, not giving any flowers out to the Patriots offensive line, I guess. It was a good game to watch as a Dolphins fan. I'm not going to talk about like, oh, there was an actual scare there in the second half. There wasn't a scare. All right, we were up 31-7. It wasn't a scare. They scored some points. I figured they were going to score a little bit. I mean, don't be one of those guys or gals that's like, oh, we should have had 0. Just enjoy the fact that we butt whooped them. Okay, enjoy the fact that it was a dog walking. So, I think I covered just about everything for stats, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about how some other things happened here. Now that we're looking at this, and we're looking at that game, the Dolphins beating the Patriots 34-15. A couple other interesting things happened. Now, number one, the Broncos beat the Raiders. I was really hoping the Raiders would pull that out, but the Broncos beat the Raiders. Okay, and the Colts lost to the Lions. That's a good thing for us. So let's look at the standings now. And we moved up, so that's a good thing. But I want to see, right now we are in 8th place in the AFC. One place just behind the Denver Broncos for that last spot. On Thursday, we play the Packers. And that's a big game for us. We are now ahead of the Indianapolis Colts. They are 5-7. Cincinnati is 4-7. The Dolphins are now 5-6. Like Calais Campbell said in the locker room after the game, every single game is a playoff game from here on out. Tyreek Hill said it before the game too. And it's true. Every game for Miami is a playoff game. They need to win everything. And is there a chance they could make the playoffs without winning every game? Yeah, there's a chance. But you figure if they go 11-6, if they win all the rest of their games, it's a tall order. But if they do, 11-6 is going to get you in the playoffs. So that's what needs to happen. Theoretically, they could lose a game or two and make the playoffs, but I mean, why would you want to do that? Let's just win them all. This was step 3 in my 9-step program to make the playoffs. The Dolphins have won 3 straight and are moving into a Thursday night game on Thanksgiving in Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. I will have a preview up probably by Tuesday. I'd say Tuesday I'll have a preview up about the game, and I'll get into some details about it and what some tendencies are going to be. I'll have my keys to victory for the offense and the defense like I always do, and I'll have my prediction. But I'm not even going to think about that tonight. I'm just going to enjoy the fact that they won a game they needed to win. They've won 3 straight, and there's hope for us Dolphins fans to be excited for our team for once, especially since this year has been so weird. We've learned a way to play a little more of a smash mouth in your face type of football game. And today we saw what happens when a team decides, well, let's see what happens if we play a little cover 1 instead of a 2 high shell like most teams are doing this year. You saw what happened. 24 points in the first half. So, the Dolphins now have not just one way to win games, which is bombing the ball down the field, but they've got different ways they can win, and they know they can win different ways. And they're playing well enough to win either way. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud to be a Dolphins fan. And all of you should be too. Don't pick apart anything from this game. It's not worth it. enjoy the fact that they won and played as complete of a game as we have played this year. In fact, there's been a few games that have been pretty darn complete. So, great game, Miami Dolphins. Great game. Exactly what needed to happen. This game didn't need to be close, and it wasn't. So now we turn our focus. The Dolphins team is going to be enjoying the victory tonight, and then they're starting it up tomorrow and getting ready for New England or Green Bay. It's going to be a game, so they're going to have to focus down on a short week and get ready to play. The good news is that the Green Bay Packers will have a short week to prepare as well. And like I said, I'll get into all the details of the game and what I think is going to happen here by Tuesday. Give me a couple days to put together my thoughts on it. But this was a great game. Great win for Miami. And I don't even want to get off. I don't even want to stop recording because I'm just so happy about it. And I know that as soon as I get off, I'm going to have more thoughts that I'm going to want to be getting out. So maybe I'll put those out in a short if I do. In the meantime, enjoy the Sunday night game. Enjoy yourselves and the rest of your Sunday. Everybody, Dolphins fans, stay up. Stay hopeful. And fins up.